On this graduation day, there seems a shortage of caps and gowns. There are no balloons, no bunting in Uvalde windows.
Walk sign is on to cross North Getty.
It takes an hour to find congratulations. Even the local photographer is on vacation, so these portraits are dated. Senior Strong is given way to Uvalde Strong. Evidence for today's ceremony is limited to empty chairs at the Honey Bowl, where friends and family gathered free from unusual attention. But the world is still listening. The best way to hear the lessons these teachers and pupils have to impart is a little old school.
The heart of Texas.
Class of 22, the entire community of Uvalde is behind you.
And tonight, 1049's listeners heard graduates commemorate the class of 2030.
I will forever miss y'all. Y'all will never be forgotten.
These are the moments that let us heal. They show us, believe it or not, that there is more good than evil in this world. So tonight, I would like to include these children from Robb Elementary as honorary members of the class of 2022 family.
It's not the library, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better place at San Antonio College.
Hey, look at that, 1936.
To turn the page.
For God's sake, my grandfather wasn't even born then.
Sergio Medina doesn't look at the Rangers archives often. Perhaps as the paper's editor-in-chief,
Right.
He's too busy adding to them. But when he does reflect,
Sometimes when you hold some of these physical copies, you realize the weight that it has.
heavy with history.
It's never lost.
America in terrorism's crosshairs. Tragedy over Atlantic skies. Letters to the editor about the assassin who shot JFK. Go further back, and each story is buttressed
I hope they paid well.
by an ad for cigarettes.
You turn the page, there's another one.
But like most once bustling newsrooms, the Rangers has fallen quieter. Journalism class enrollment is down at SAC, and the paper's faculty advisors are retiring this semester. Without students to write and teachers to teach, there can be no Ranger.
You don't expect something like that to happen. I certainly didn't.
The staff will spend this semester putting together a book on the publication, and nearly a century's worth of yellowing pages already live digitally in the cloud. The community's history is protected, but it will no longer be recorded. Whether ring toss or beer bash, here, hope has a sound.
Seeing everybody happy, laughing, and excited because we were not here last year.
Tonight, a chance to celebrate the city's comeback,
It's just a great environment here.
though not yet complete. For others, it's an opportunity to take out this year's frustrations.
So tell me, how was 2021?
A roller coaster.
It was terrible, man.
But those twists and turns forced a new appreciation for priorities, old and new.
Only person thing that I care about is just love my life. That's it.
What was it about 2021 that was great for you?
Meeting her.
And if even 2021 could offer some joy, San Antonio's air is filled with anticipation for what a new calendar might have in store. In a way, Sandra Ramon is regifting this year.
My mom started it.
The present is inherited, a tradition
Hopefully it'll just keep going.
she's already passed on.
Anything to help.
Her offering
Yes.
is time.
Okay, it's time for Christmas.
For 10 years running, Sandra's taken responsibility for this tree at the Ingram Park Mall. 9 hours a day, every day for the next month, you'll again find her here, facilitating a little angelic intervention.
I just tried to show that to my kids that they should give, and it's important.
There's strange halls to deck, but the ornaments are too precious to be ignored. Andrew, Alejandro, and Noel asking for dolls, Paw Patrols, and Nerf guns.
Every angel on the tree represents one real local child.
The Salvation Army's Brad Mahar says all 7,000 of these San Antonio Christmas lists depend on your kindness. It's a swelling need that's become more obvious as the pandemic fades.
Anyone could go through a year where there's a job loss or a health scare, or maybe just folks are just down on their luck, and they just need a little bit of help.
For decades, you've come to their aid, Now the Salvation Army is asking you to renew the custom, like taking a page from Sandra's book and an angel from her tree.
This is Viatrix Meat Market. We've been around since 1965. The industry is crazy right now. This is the craziest I've seen as far as market fluctuations ever. We're coming out of a year that has seen an increase in 20% of red meat consumption, so there is a demand for protein. But through the pandemic and through some of the plants closing, especially now with the past couple days with the largest processing plant in the world getting shut down for a cyber attack, we're seeing a lot of these proteins be limited. We'll have them in stock, but you'll pay the price for them. Some of the more specialty items that takes an extra step in labor at the processing plants, it's very limited supply on that. It's tough, especially when across the street at a big box store, they can keep prices fairly limited. For me, I'm looking at pricing every week. It's been interesting to change pricing. I've had to change pricing about 4 or 5 times in 2 months. I think people are catching on to what is going on, and they're either okay with it, they'll pay the price, or they'll ask for different suggestions. Talking to the previous owners of the company and other family-owned meat markets around San Antonio, they've never seen anything like it. We're just all trying to get in the same boat and ride the ship out until some sort of normalcy comes back, but we're just anxious to get back to normal.
This is where San Antonio was founded.
She's the soul of San Antonio.
It is the oldest unrestored stone church in the United States.
At 256 years old, Mission Concepcion has stood the test of time. And to keep her alive for 250 more, preservation projects are ongoing.
So it's the gravity that's pushing it out. If that were to continue over another 100 years, it would eventually go flat and fall in.
First up, securing the dome against the elements.
And this dome has been sitting here really unrestored.
Over the years, water has seeped in, damaging some of the plaster.
We're going to put a metal girdle around that so that it'll keep the structure secure.
Also ongoing, moving the AC system.
And that is just moisture seeping up into the rock.
That seeping moisture resulting in high humidity levels inside the church.
And that kind of deteriorates the mortar, it creates the plaster getting goopy and falling off.
And while preservation efforts continue, the church will remain closed. It's a community effort to save an iconic landmark.
Because they want to make sure you get it exactly right.
The heart of San Antonio.
Because the missions mean a lot to everyone.
Vanessa Croy, KENS 5 Eyewitness News. It's a love for the strawberry that draws thousands to this small Texas town each year.
If they come here on the grounds, we are going to have good strawberries for you, unique Poteet strawberries. They're not from California. I'll fill a little bit fuller. They are grown right here on Poteet soil. So it's $12.
But for Ruth Ann Schulte,
my dad started raising strawberries in Poteet in 53 or 52.
It's more than just a business.
It's in my blood, but when my dad passed away, I was able to inherit some of the land. I actually inherited the heart of the farm, and so I felt like it was important to keep the tradition going as much as I could.
It's a devotion.
I love doing strawberries, anything to do with strawberries. Anything from selling them to representing the town to anything.
More people in line for these. Let's go.
Last year, the COVID pandemic buried the Poteet Strawberry Festival.
We have churches and schools and other nonprofit organizations that they rely on us.
Robert Martinez,
don't mind the gray,
has volunteered out here for over 40 years.
I started in high school when we first got it moved over here.
Martinez said because the festival took such a hard hit by being shut down last year because of the pandemic, if they weren't able to host the festival this year, he said it could have put a final stop to the Poteet Strawberry Festival in the future.
The Strawberry Festival is an umbrella for many nonprofits.
And the other funds raised from the 3-day event go to scholarships for area teens.
We were in dire need of of having an event because we were having money going out and not coming back.
And right now, the 75th anniversary of the Poteet Strawberry Festival is on for next year.
These are 15.
And for Ruth Ann, it's another year to keep her father's legacy alive.
I hope he's saying good things. I'm hoping he's very proud that I am showing off my berries. I think Daddy's going to be happy.
Vanessa Croy, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
It was put here for a reason.
After the gunfire.
On this ground in this area is where they burned here on this spot 160 to 180 of the Texians that fought here during the Battle of the Alamo. It's important to me because of the defenders that died here.
But they died for a reason.
It's their memorial.
God can only really know.
Second of all, it's been sitting here since 1930-something.
The spirit of Texas.
And it's been fine where it is since the 30s when they built it. There's absolutely no reason for them to move it. History's history, good or bad, doesn't matter. But history's history. It should be left here. It should never be touched. It should stay here for another 100 years.
I am very, very concerned that we're trying to rewrite history, that we are trying to alter the facts, and for us to play around with its history, for us to play around with the site, I think it speaks very poorly of today's leaders.
The spirit of Texas.
This is part of our history.
Was born in the Alamo.
This is part of our heart.
And it's contained right here